You're listening to WeP3 Radio on the Foxhole Radio Network. Currently playing Sailor Jerry, Better When I'm Bad.
I'm good when I'm good. I'm better when I'm bad. Maybe I should warn you about the trouble I've had. I get kind of crazy. I don't take things slow. Before this gets much further and you're in too deep, I thought
left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Dockers, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
To put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the WeP3 Team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it!
Truck it on.
Welcome. It is Father's Day, 16 June 2024, and you are here with us at the People's Patriot Project. We got your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Every week we bring you a guest. Many times we have a new artist and we share all the good and not so good things that are happening in our world. This week we get to visit with Mr. Frank Demith, Army veteran and co-author of Vital Interest. Tonight's episode is featured by our sponsors, Bottle Breacher, Catch-22 with Derek Iozio, Operation Texas Strong with Bobby and Peggy Krutzinger, Palm Speak with Stephen Bates. Contagion Effect is also our newsletter sponsor of the month. Contagion Effect with Eric Mello and our very own Kimmer Winner with us tonight. Brian Kenzer is also supporting WeP3 with his business, Smart Living Today. It's all about American-made products and a stream to help support the People's Patriot Project while you are shopping. I have a link right here for you to watch a little video and get acquainted with what Brian has got to offer. And he does sometimes stop in, so we will see. Today it is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all of you out there. We do have a new show on Reads Across America Radio. It happens at Sundays, 11 p.m. Eastern time. That's 10 Central. And then you Western folks, you got to figure that out, all right? Because I don't know all of that. You can find it on Reads Across America Radio. You can find Reads Across America Radio on the iHeart Radio app, the Audacity app, and the TuneIn app. Just search the word Wreath and it will show up. And of course, I have a link for you right here as well for that radio show. I would like to thank our sponsors, our guests, and our viewers. And before we start this week's show, we ask that you take off your hats, stand and cover your heart, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boom. Here we are.
Amen to that. Amanda is here, and thank you for being here, Amanda. We appreciate you a ton. We'd also like to start out tonight with our WeP3 pledge because we know why we get to do this. Thank you to the service members and the first responders that have committed their time, sweat, blood, limbs, family, and life to give us the freedoms that we have that allow us to do what we do daily. We wear this green, this lovely green. See that green? Yeah, we wear that because we won't be unseen. Again, Jeremy, always with the standing. I resemble that remark. He's a good guy, that darn Jeremy. Jeremy and Derek Iozio, again, happy Father's Day. And on that note, I'd like to say happy Father's Day to all fathers, those who have proactively assumed the role of nurturing and nurturing their children to be a positive and proactive part of this world. But thank you also to those fathers that had a higher sense of duty. Thank you to those fathers out there that are deployed and serving in our military and as first responders. Thank you to those fathers who instilled in their children the values of service. And because of that, they are missing their children as they are out there deployed or serving our military and or being a first responder. Our hearts go out to those Gold Star fathers that have lost a child due to their service while on duty or post-duty. Fathers of the world, we thank you for being amazing.
We're here. We're doing
Uh-oh.
it. Thank you.
We lost Jonathan again.
Yeah, he's in and out, in and out. Repeat if necessary, right? That's
I didn't. Yes, details are always good. Thank you for the details, Mr. Peterson.
Yes. Mr. Demith, it is good to have you, brother.
Hey, it's great to be here.
What brings you this way? Why are you here?
Well, I retired a while back and sat around and did nothing, and then got something I wanted to do. So I wrote a book, and all I wanted to do was write a book. And I'll be darned if that thing didn't win Best Military Book of the Year in 2023. And
very nice.
I'm just every day I wake up and I look at the little upside down question mark trophy that they gave me, and I I turn it right side up and say, what the heck?
So,
What the heck?
tell us about your service, brother.
Well, I joined back 2 years after the volunteer army started. So way before any of y'all were alive, I'd be willing to wager. And they had to kind of drag me in. A friend of mine joined, and he needed somebody else to join with him to get an extra stripe. And so I told the recruiter I joined, but I didn't think my parents would sign the paperwork because I was only 17 at the time. And the recruiter showed up and laid the paperwork out, and they were like WWE jumping on each other to see who would sign it first. And so they signed it, and the recruiter talked me outside and said, I'll be here on the 21st of November, which was 2 days before Thanksgiving. And I'm going to pick you up, and we're going to go down to the final processing in Chicago. And I'm going to put you on the bus and go down to Fort Leonard Wood. I said, yep. He says, yes, Sergeant, right? And I said, yep, yes, Sergeant.
Oh, the classic, yes, Sergeant.
Well, he had tattoos on both hands. And on his left hand, he had love on the knuckles. And on the other hand, he had hate. And he said, I'm going to greet you with one of these hands. And so if you're not standing out here, I'm going to go inside and drag you out, and you're going to meet hate.
Oh,
Well, I guess it's
Whoa.
good that you didn't meet the loved one. That would be a little bit weird.
Well, some guys, you just don't know.
So remind me what year you went in?
1977.
1977. So it's post-Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. And the funny part is I was mad when I was in high school because the war ended. Because all my family had served and been to war. And I thought, here's my chance. And then the war ended. I was like, well, heck, I'm not going anymore. I mean, what the heck? There's no war.
Isn't that an intriguing thought? Because, I mean, how many people, like, legitimately, if you ask that question in regards to people who are involved, I'm going to jump off the whatever I'm jumping off here. First of all, thank you for your service. Second of all, yesterday I had the amazing opportunity to sit at the 50th anniversary Vietnam Veteran Recognition Day down at the Mall of America here in Minnesota. I was invited actually by Rees Across America, and we got to sit and broadcast the entire day with amazing guests. I mean, and there was a time and place, and we still do have some World War II veterans in our space, and we appreciate all that they've done to give us the opportunities and freedoms that we have. And now it's our Vietnam participants who, again, you were upset, and I don't know that a lot of our world would agree. Well, why would you be upset that you didn't get to be in? And some of our veterans are not necessarily happy about the way the Vietnam conflict happened and took place, but there is a piece of the people or population of our country that want to satisfy the need to not only serve but be in the conflict that our four members of family have or did participate in.
Yeah, I lost people that were close to my family in the war in Vietnam, and that's a problem we have with our recruiting as well. We keep on going back to the same well, recruiting people from families and families that have served for decades and decades, and meanwhile we have 95% of the country who won't raise their hand and join. And eventually it bothers me that we're going to probably end up doing something like a draft one of these days.
Oh, God, help us all.
If you can't get the numbers, what else are you going to do?
Why do you got to say stuff like that, Mr.
Yeah, like I said before we talked,
you're not in the education system right now, are you?
I am not, and I wish I was.
Be careful what you wish for.
Come and get me.
The crazy piece, and I don't know if people really think about this, but roughly 3.8 million people periled in Vietnam. 3.8 million. That is bigger than all of St. Paul. That's actually bigger than all of Minneapolis. I mean, it's not bigger than both of them combined, but 3.8 million. There's states that don't have 3.8 million people in them. And what and it was a different time and different place. I mean, that was a jungle warfare scenario where a lot of it was not necessarily hand-to-hand combat, but at least small weapons combat, and just gigantic numbers of loss. And so it is important that we remember those that served during the Vietnam. It's important to remember everyone that served, in my opinion, but just because we're on the 50th anniversary of that conflict, it's important to remember. And literally and figuratively, not all of our Vietnam participants have returned. Even in the physical sense that they're walking our streets and they're trying to be part of society, they just have not completely made it home yet. And they were never really welcomed home either. That was another piece.
That's part of the big problem. You can't fix something 30 years later. If you don't do it right when they come home, it's hard to go back and do it over again. And God, I feel so terrible for the folks that came home from that war and the way they were treated when they came back.
We had the awesome opportunity 2 years ago at Sudden Ridge Farms down in southern Minnesota to be at a Vietnam recognition event, and they held a parade for the members. And again, it came 45 years too late, in my opinion. But the pride that these young men had getting out there, some of them were incapable to walk and are not any longer mobile. And so they were pulled behind in a hay wagon. But again, it was an honor to be there, to be able to welcome them home for the time that they didn't get welcomed home. And so we're kind of off subject, on subject. I believe, Miss Kimmer, you had kind of an intro poem for our show tonight.
I did.
You want to roll?
I sure will. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Hope your family showed you that they cared. Did you get a card, a tie, or did you have to grill? Or did you just get to kick back today and chill? Whatever it was that you did today, we sincerely hope that it was okay. But for now, just kick back and grab your favorite snack. Don't forget your favorite brew and get ready to listen to our crew. For in your near future, there's this great live stream. No, you're not asleep. You're not having a dream. You're watching the WeP3 Team show. How can we help you to grow?
Let's grow, right? Let's grow. You're amazing, Miss Kimmer. Andrea, did you have something? No? Okay.
No.
All right. Jonathan.
Yes.
I don't know why we keep slipping the news further and further into the show, but let's roll.
I hope that my connection holds out long enough to get through this. Having some internet issues tonight. The month of June is National PTSD Awareness Month. In 2014, Senate the Senate designated the month of June as PTSD Awareness Month. The U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs was one of the forerunners in the fight against PTSD. Some of the earliest mentions of the disorder would date back to 50 BC. The National Center for PTSD states that about 7 to 8% of the population will experience PTSD in their lifetime. But PTSD Awareness Month is a reminder of the strength of humans. Our minds have immense strength, but we also have limitations, and learning to recognize those limitations, work around them within our capacity, shows just how strong we can be. We have the strength to get better. We have the strength to do it on our own. The road to recovery is different for everyone, but there is a road for each of us. And of course, today is Father's Day, which we've mentioned quite a few times already. And I got the privilege of spending the weekend out with my son on the beach, and it was fantastic. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, by the way. June 20th is National American Eagle Day. This is a day to raise awareness about the bald eagle in an effort to preserve their natural habitat. Bald eagles are powerful birds of prey indigenous to America. They symbolize strength, determination, and honor. On June 20th, 1782, the Second Continental Congress selected bald eagles as the national symbol of the United States. In the 1950s, the bald eagle was at serious risk of extinction and was classified as endangered in 1967. The bald eagle would become a primary success story for the Endangered Species Act. As of 2007, the bird is no longer considered threatened, has a healthy population level. A quote from John F. Kennedy: "The founding fathers made an appropriate choice when they selected the bald eagle as the emblem of the nation. The fierce beauty and proud independence of this great bird aptly symbolizes the strength and freedom of America." End quote. And that is all I have for the news.
I am absolutely mesmerized every time I see a bald eagle fly or in any part of space that I'm in. And we have a distinct pleasure up here in St. Francis, Minnesota. If I drive about a mile north here and go 3 miles west, there's a farm. It's a pig farm. And I can't figure out, there's actually write-ups on this. There is a tree where about 30 to 40 eagles hang out. And sometimes I drive up there and I just park the car and just sit and just watch. It's just amazing. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. It is what it is. But that's my poem for the night. What it is.
That's always been a huge deal for me as well, and we see them quite often here as well. But I've seen some. This was, I don't know, probably 10 years ago. I was driving down the road, and I just had like a little mile drive down the road, and there was an eagle sitting in the middle of the road. And when I hit the brakes, this eagle took flight right in front of the truck, and the wingspan of the thing was just as big as the truck. And I was like, that's America right there, man.
That is America. I had the awesome chance to drive one of the coordinators for Region 3 into Fort Snelling yesterday. They'd never seen it before, and got the chance to give them a quick tour of what it is. And there's been a capture of a bald eagle that likes to hang out amongst the gravestones at Fort Snelling. And I thought I saw it yesterday. I stopped. It wasn't it, but it is. I mean, I get excited to think that I can see this picture at any given point, or see this in real life at any given point. Because we don't have a music guest at this time, Mr. Jonathan, can we make sure we've got some stuff lined up? And maybe after the next segment, we will roll a tune. Mr. Demith, tell us about your book.
Well, it's a fact-based fiction book. So a lot of people ask me, where am I in the book? And I'm not in this one. I'm going to be in the third book. So the the book starts off with a program that I helped design when I was working in the Pentagon, the interpreter translator program for the Army. We recruited green card holders that spoke Arabic, Dari, Pashto, or Farsi. And of course, we recruited them and then deployed them overseas to serve with the units that were deployed there to help them as interpreters and cultural awareness. Before the Army or any of the services started preaching cultural awareness, those people were there doing it on the ground. So I wrote this book and I dedicated it to those 1,500 plus individuals we recruited to serve as interpreters for the military. There's the protagonist, the hero of the book is, of course, in that program because I wrote it. So I'm going to make him the hero. And then the antagonist was from a different group called Military Accessions Vital and National Interest. And he turns out being a plant, and he does some bad things once they deploy, and there's confrontation between the two of them. One of them ends up being killed and doesn't turn out to be a good day for them. But there's 3 books, there's 2 more coming, and funny enough, the next one's called Defending the Eagle.
Interesting.
I'm about a little over halfway done writing that one. But I wrote this one so that anybody can read it and enjoy it. It's not the typical military book. I don't have a lot of acronyms and other things in there that need to be explained that sometimes aren't explained, so it confuses readers. So I wrote this and I laid out what was happening every day through the book so people would understand. And it's turned out well. I mean, I've had one bad review, and it was kind of funny. The young lady read it, and she was mad she couldn't read it in 4 hours. What's a 292-page book? I mean, come on. So she wrote a review and said something like, "Oh my God, I couldn't read it. It's Sergeant this and Sergeant that." And it's like, it's a military book. So what am I supposed to say? Leprechaun number 1 and Leprechaun number 2? I mean, it's military. So, and the worst part was, it was part of a giveaway on Goodreads. I gave away 100 copies, electronic copies of the book, and she signed up and took one of them that could have been used with somebody else who appreciated military books. And it's like, well, why did you sign up? But such is life.
What do you want your audience to get out of your book?
Well, I want the general public to understand just a little bit of what the military goes through when they are called to deploy and eventually deploy overseas and are engaged in combat with the enemy. That was my main point for writing this book. Yeah, veterans enjoy it. I've gotten a lot of really good reviews from veterans that I've known and ones that I've come to know. But it's really for the general public because I wanted them to understand. I think a big problem we have, even in recruiting, is the general population doesn't understand what we do. They just know we go somewhere and we fight. But there's so much more, and I want them to understand that.
Well, that's a crazy notion. I'm not saying you're crazy. The
well, you
notion,
wouldn't be the first one.
Well, it won't be me. It won't be me. The notion. So the name of our organization is actually called We the People, the People's Patriot Project. But I didn't want that as an email address, so we just shortened it significantly to the People's Patriot Project, which still is not a very good email address. But we have been trying to mobilize and motivate those people who get to lay their big fat heads on the pillows of freedom daily and don't take into account the men and women who have sacrificed their time, their legs. I was going to say their limbs, which would be the same thing as a leg, but their lives, their blood, their tears, to give them the opportunities to do whatever. I mean, if you choose to work at McDonald's or if you choose to work a corporate CEO spot, you've been given the opportunity of choice. And that would not exist without the men and women of this country who have gone and served, A, in the military, or B, in our opinion, those who serve as first responders. And so, again, I appreciate so much the time that you've taken to share that there is an external message that people need to understand. There is so much more. I mean, we talked about this, I guess it was last weekend, one of my intriguing, I can't say favorite, but when the battle boats are pulling up to the shores of Iwo Jima, and there's one very famous photo of the small boys that are sitting in the back of that boat, literally probably months away from just dancing at prom, are now on that boat going into battle to make us have, or to help us have, these liberties that we have. And the fact that just recently over in France, in Normandy, France loves us. France loves what the Americans did at Normandy. And France celebrates what our servicemen and women have done more than almost our very own country does at moments. And that's a huge frustration for me. It's a huge frustration. The exciting stat, I can't necessarily directly quote it, but apparently there are 90,000 living Vietnam War vets living in Minnesota, and they calculated half of them showed up to the Mall of America this last weekend. I'm jumping all over the place, but this is celebrating the men and women that have given us the opportunity for me to eat one of the most amazing medium rare ribeye steaks today, because they took time, their personal time, and they gave it to you. Gosh. And how many people wake up and think about that in the morning? I was given this opportunity to go bitch about the job I want to go to. I've been given this opportunity to go drink the coffee from whatever coffee brand I want to go drink the coffee from. I've been given the opportunity to buy a foreign vehicle or a domestic vehicle. Shame on you. Thank you for taking the time to do that, Mr. Demith.
You got to leave something behind when you go, and that's one of the things I want to leave.
I want to hear more about your experience at the Pentagon. I mean, we don't get an opportunity to speak to many people that had that opportunity, but we'll come back to that. Jonathan, you got a tune to roll our way, brother?
There we go. I was in the process of moving it around, but I got the chance to speak. We were just talking about Normandy and France, and you got a chance to speak to one of our past guests this weekend who happened to be in Normandy, and I was more interested. Like, first of all, what an honor to be in the place where so many men and in the past had sacrificed their lives for our freedoms on that very same beach. What a surreal moment that I can't even begin to wrap my mind around. But I had a young guy, Cody Strauss, who's a past guest of ours, and I reached out to him because I was curious if he had if he had the chance to meet Scotty Hastings while he was down there. And of course they did meet, and Cody Strauss is with the 82nd Airborne Band currently. And anyways, really good guy, really talented, and I'd like to play one of his songs that I was able to pull up real quick. So this is Cody Strauss and 2 a.m.
I'd be writing a song about you today, but I can't help myself. I think about you every day. When they asked me how I felt, I didn't know just what to say. I thought you loved me, but you didn't feel the same way. Someone teach me how to love, 'cause I ain't ever had enough. All this pain I've been through in the night, spent in the midst of your memory, girl, it keeps me up. 2 a.m. I'm drunk on a Monday, just got done praising God on a Sunday. 3 o'clock fireball in my chest, and the Lord knows that I can't get no rest. Got working for now 3:15, can't help thinking about you and me. 100 miles an hour going down the line, that's the only thing that'll get you off my mind. So I left town, headed for the road. No slowing down, chasing this lonely soul. No brakes, no shake, I don't know how much more of this I can take. I'm ready to come back home and claim this woman for my own. 2 a.m. I'm drunk on a Monday, just got done praising God on a Sunday. 3 o'clock fireball in my chest, and the Lord knows that I can't get no rest. Got working for now 3:15, can't help thinking about you and me. 100 miles an hour going down the line, that's the only thing that'll get you off my mind.
That is Cody Strauss and 2 a.m. And you can hear Cody on WeP3 Radio everywhere you want to. All you got to do is go to Google, line it up, type in WeP3 Radio, and it'll be the first thing on that list. We are exclusively 100% all veteran and first responder listener. No, not listener. I mean, anyone can listen to it. Musicians. Everyone has served on our radio station. No one else has done this. And we get excited knowing that they are out there doing that, sending a message. Some of their music is about their path and how they got from where they were to where they are now. And some of it's about healing, but some of it's just about jamming, man. Some of it is just the music that we need to hear daily. And I will stack up any and every single one of our musicians on our radio station against anyone you're playing on mainstream radio. They're that good. Take a time, take a listen. We'd love it if you'd go find and listen to WeP3 Radio. And we'd also love if you take the time to go and subscribe to the People's Patriot Project YouTube channel. You'll hear all of our episodes on We Got Your 6 at 6 and all of our episodes of our WeP3 Weekly Debrief and all of our special events. So go take a look, go take a listen. If you've got ideas, send them our way. What'd be even better is if you have an idea and are willing to act on that idea to help recognize and make the world of veterans and first responders better, come on board. We got a spot for you. Mr. Demith. Pentagon.
Yes.
Tell us about
Puzzle Palace.
How many years at the Pentagon?
Well, I got there in 2004, and I got released for good behavior in 2012. So the last 5 years I was there, I started out as a civilian, and then they recalled me to active duty in 2010, and I ran an office that was in charge of oversight of the Army's culture and language programs. So I did that from 2010 to 2012. And then when I started growing my beard, they let me leave.
Was it a year out of here, you're growing your beard, or was it a...
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I could have stayed, but I retired in 2007. And so when I got recalled to active duty, all I was making, I was lieutenant colonel. I mean, my God, I made a good chunk of money, but I didn't get to draw my retirement pay. And the company that I worked for, they were a big company. They say paid me a little stipend, but I was losing a lot by being on active duty. And it started out as 1 year, and then they talked me into going another year, and then they came and talked to me again, and I told them, I said, I can't do another year. So they said, how about 6 months? I said, fine. So I did 2.5 years back in uniform. But I love the Pentagon. I mean, a lot of people get sent to the Pentagon. They're like, oh, my God, that just sucks. I don't want to go there. But if you can't feel like you've accomplished something by working in the Pentagon, you just have no idea of what you're doing. Because everything we did there was affecting or related to the force out in wherever they were. So the program I made up, or I didn't make up, but I helped put it together. I was the only military person in the group that put it together. That directly affected people that were deployed. I mean, now they had someone who could speak the language fluently and understood the culture. So, you know, you look at that type of stuff. And before that, I worked with recruiting. So I was in charge of monitoring the progress of the Army Reserve and National Guard for recruiting. And so we had another direct impact on recruiting and numbers and people that were going. And it was just a great experience. I enjoyed it. It was one of my best assignments, other than being with troops. And of course, I was a commander for 5 years straight when I was a captain in 2 different units. So that was that's what happened in my first marriage.
Oh, yeah.
And my 2 kids from that marriage, God bless them, I loved them to pieces, but it wasn't a very amicable split, and so I was referred to as their biological father once they were no longer living in my house. So,
well, and that is one of the pieces that unfortunately our service members have to deal with on a regular. Is the commitment to service does strain relationships, and it ends up being a piece that doesn't make our soldiers whole for the moment. And again, you know, I don't know your relationship. You said it wasn't very amicable, but that is another part of the mission of the People's Patriot Project, and the fact that there's a lot of loved ones involved that didn't sign up for the mission, and they don't necessarily know how to circumvent the processes, be part of that relationship when the military has their forks in their spouse, and that comes first, unfortunately, in that particular realm. You got to learn to work through those, and it's not always easy. And so, again, a sacrifice you have made to your country and community You had the chance. You got to work at the Pentagon. You got to write a book now. What is one of the key aspects of life you attained from your service to the United States?
Oh, that's easy. Veterans. I love veterans more than anything in the world. I'd do anything for a veteran. Just ask me. I've only been disappointed by one veteran in my life, and I'm hoping that someday that will change, and he has the time to do the right thing. I ordered a custom-made rifle, and it was very expensive, over $2,000, and the individual never produced it. I won't go to court. I will not file a court case against a veteran. I don't care if I lose $2,000, I lose $2,000. But hopefully, being a veteran, he'll do the right thing, and one day I'll get a call and go down to the gun store and pick up my new rifle. But veterans are, see, that's the other thing, the other reason why I wrote the book. I want people to understand how special veterans are. And veterans can do so many different things. It's just not going off and fighting a war. Singing, writing, everything else in between. If you want to hire someone that does a great job for you, look at a veteran. I don't care what type of company it is. A veteran will put in more time and try to do a better job than anybody else you'll find. Right now, I'd bet my next Social Security check on that.
I love the passion that you have, and
Yep.
I'd like to continue the conversation maybe after we are done with the show and how we can collaborate and do some work together. And Travis Partington, it's good to see you, brother. An amazing voice for the veteran network and the veteran world with Oscar Mike Radio, and he actually does have several other Hellfish. He helps with Hellfish Haven and a couple others. And thank you for being here tonight, brother. Mr. Demith, I want to thank you for taking. I mean, today is supposed to be a day where we get to put our foot up, smoke a stogie, throw down some. I don't know if your flavors are brewski or not, but bourbon, brewski, and bloodies. I mean, that's I gotta enjoy all of those myself. And did you get to do anything fun today for Father's Day?
Oh, heck yeah. We went to a local brewery and filled up on all those.
What is your choice of beverage at a brewery? What is your flavor?
Oh, I love a good stout. To me, there's nothing beats a good stout. Oh God, I want it so thick I have to chew it.
I love it. I love it as well. Gosh, dang.
I don't smoke cigars anymore
Okay.
because I got some throat issues. I'm not sure exactly what it is, so I don't want to make it worse. But I like to stand near someone who's smoking one.
Yeah. Jonathan, did you get to do anything? Well, you already shared. You got to go to the beach and hang with. Did they get to bury you?
No, actually, they didn't. We buried Landon though.
We'll have to talk to the
He laid
commissioner
down
about
and was
that.
like, "Hey, bury me, Dad." So no, it was fun. It was our first trip to the beach as a family, and I wasn't sure how much I'd be into sand, but it wasn't bad.
All right. Veteran Vapor, I believe. I mean, I apologize if I've not seen you on our show before, but thank you for being here, and we appreciate you stopping in, taking a look, and reach out to us. We'd like to know more about you and what your world is all about. What we got another song lined up, Jonathan?
We do have some songs lined up. The thing about the Eagle got me. Not that it's a whole lot different from any. the other day, but the people got me feeling tonight, so which is like every other night, but maybe just a tad bit more. So next we're gonna play Topher, the Patriot.
Oh, good one.
Mother told me someday I would buy dollies with good origins, sails to distant shores, stand up high in the prow, noble bark I steer, steady course for the havens, too many foemen, too many foemen.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. War between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no more give or take. March around the Capitol, storm the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls of corruption, take out all the snakes. Star Spangled Banner, got it playing loud and proud. People from all walks of life filling up the crowd. Defend the Constitution, many warriors have vowed. Casting down any among us who have bucked and cowed. Enough with tyranny, we come to take our country back. For all citizens, white, red, brown, or black. Return her to a form of glory, fix their bloody crack on the crown. Fetch it down, it's going down.
My mama told me, yeah, she warned me that this day would come. I'm like my father, go to combat with the blazing guns. I survived that, then I came back to the place I'm from, to face off all these haters and the battle in the place I love. You can't break me down, I'm indivisible. You still see my raps if I was invisible, but I'm standing tall, and I spit the truth. So you all appalled, cause you know it's true. They call it freedom cause the fallen troops pay for this. I love this country, doesn't matter how much hate I get. I take my colors in the battle, ain't no wavering, cause this is for my warriors who marching to the cadences. This is for the sisters working hard on the ship. This is for the brothers getting y'all doctorate. Father, yeah, taking y'all on the ship. Baby, tell me why it's all for the Patriot.
Tens of thousands on my right, thousands by my side. War between good and evil, watching our fists collide. Battle for our freedom now, to the streets we ride. Flags waving all around, pages full of pride. This is where we make a stand, no more give or take. March around the Capitol, storm the city gates. Putting pressure on their necks until the truth breaks. All walls of corruption, take out all the snakes. Star Spangled Banner, got it playing loud and proud. People from all walks of life filling up the crowd. Defend the Constitution, many warriors have vowed.
That is Topher featuring the Marine rapper, and that story about that song is absolutely phenomenal and is a sheer injustice to our country and to that man who is a spirit-led man of conviction who has done nothing but done good, and the music industry banned that song Patriot as it was number one in the charts and had been moving in other places, and they banned it from social streaming because they thought it was related to January 6th. How embarrassing or embarrassed you should be, United States. Mr. Howard, thank you for identifying yourself. We've got James Howard of Homeward Bound. I can't read it. My eyeballs. Adirondacks. will be on our show July 28th. So we're excited to have you, brother. Thanks for coming in and visiting too. What isn't next for Frank Demith?
Well, I'm hoping to build a lot of interest in my book so I can write the next one, but we're a little bit behind in sales. I'm halfway through the second one. It's going to be called Defending the Eagle, and it's going to be something that anybody who's been in the service will want to read, because there's characters in here that I know everybody has come across. Some you like, some you just hate. But it's going to be something for everybody in the second book. And the third book is going to take place in the Pentagon. And I am going to write myself into that book.
Okay.
So I've got those 3 lined up, and then 3 other ones that I'm working on. And hopefully I'll be writing for an online publisher, SoftRep. I got to send my book there and have them take a look at it. And if they accept me, I'll be working through them on my next books. So it'll be a lot easier.
Are the characters in the book that people are going to not like, are they all Marines?
No. I would never do that. I love the Marines. My uncle was an enlisted soldier in the Marine Corps during World War II, and he did the island hopping, and he was there when they were waiting to get on the boats and go invade Japan. So never will I write a bad word about the Corps.
I want to make it clear, we love our Marines too, but they need to understand your birthday is only one day. You get one day to celebrate your birthday, not the entire year. It is what it is. Okay, guys.
I think they ought to be their own branch, for crying out loud. Why stick them in the Navy? Come on now.
Well, you're starting a fight I wasn't going to start. That's for sure. But it is what it is. It's
well, they should have warned you about me before they talked you into having me on the show.
It's perfect. It's perfect. We love all of our brothers. Doesn't matter what uniform, and sisters,
Absolutely.
what uniform you wore. The fact that you taken any time at all, a minute, our reserve components, we lift you up. Well, you signed the line. You were available. You spent time, your talent, your treasure. You sacrificed your livelihood. We appreciate all of you who have given any time at all to making this country a better country, and have sat post to accommodate the needs of all of our country. So we appreciate you. Well, we've done all of our pieces.
We can sing a song ourselves.
What song would you like to sing?
I don't know. I'm getting to the point where I kind of like "Don't Let the Old Man In," but I think he's already here and already entrenched in me. You guys ought to be singing that.
Amazing song. And again, an amazing contributor to the world of veterans and service members, Mr. Toby Keith.
He lost a great one.
Super great one. And I gotta watch a documentary. They talked to him about briefly after that, because he didn't have much time after that. But everyone was just like, oh my gosh, he was preparing himself. And he actually didn't even know he was singing that song the night that he sang it until he walked onto the stage and they said, this is the song you're singing. And I gave it bigger value than what it was, but there still is not a rendition. And again, I do think it's a piece where, if you haven't heard "Don't Let the Old Man In," I think every veteran needs to take time. Even if it's at your darkest moment, that's when you need to listen to the song.
Yep.
Because it's about letting that piece into your head that says it's time.
Hey, I'm in my mid-60s, and I'll be darned if I'm going to let up. It ain't happening. I'm planning on running a 10K here pretty soon, and
Oh, bless
If
your
I
heart.
don't come in the top half, I'm running it again.
You have greater ambitions than I do at this time. That's
If I was gonna make it through 10K, it'd have to be a very, very, very tall hill for me to roll that far.
I'm excited to be at the next cook-off down in Louisiana. That's what I'm excited for. That's my ambitions right there.
Well, one of these days you have to talk to me about my life right after retiring from work. And that's probably one by itself. I was in a really dark place. And if you sit and you don't do anything, you get yourself in a dark place, and you got to remember what your purpose is, and you got to keep pushing forward and keep doing things. Once you sit down and you decide you're just going to rest, then it's done.
I love Jeremy Daniels. This is the message we need to hear from you, brother. Not your other stuff. We like this stuff. Still got too many people to piss off and prove wrong. Attaboy. Go get them, man. Well, you think so. Let's touch on it a little bit because we do have a little time. I mean, this is supposed to be an hour show, but we've not done an hour show in 3 years. So, let's not get into the major details. But when you seem like a busy guy. I mean, you're talking about running 10Ks at 60 points.
My life changed a little over 2 years ago. I retired from all work, and I started doing honey-do list things and knock stuff out for the next month and a half. And then I just sat down one day, turned the idiot box on. That's what us old people call the television. And then took out the computer and started cruising around on the computer. And I said, well, tomorrow I'll do something. And I did that for like 6 weeks, where I didn't do anything other than sit and cruise on the internet. And it was right before Christmas, right after Christmas. And one of my classmates from the military academy posted something on LinkedIn, and all it said was deliberate discomfort challenge. And so I said, well, he put it on there. I trust him. So I opened it up and I signed the papers and I joined this challenge. And then the next day I opened it up and looked at it. And this thing, it was 60 days nonstop, weightlifting, running, work, reading books. You had to read a book every week from cover to cover, logging in journal entries, calling people, keeping in touch. And after 60 days, I was so focused that I picked up my computer and I started writing my book. And I finished my book in 90 days. And I've been focused on a mission ever since then. And I found a purpose. And I think that's what a lot of us veterans need to do. We need to figure out what purpose we have, and we need to focus on it, and we need to put our energy into it. And once we figure out our purpose and we're doing it and we're focused on it, then we'll reduce this ridiculously high suicide rate that we have. Because you can't go that direction when you got a purpose and you're focused on it. And I truly believe that with 100% of my heart.
You're not wrong. And it is part of our mission, but it's also part of many of the boots on the ground organizations that are trying to effectively grab some traction and help our veterans understand that there's always a next step. Always a next step. There's whatever you're sitting in, whatever you're doing at the moment, if it doesn't feel right, then let's take a step. And that step might be reaching out to an unfamiliar face on a podcast live stream. The next step might be reaching out to an organization The next step might just be reaching out to a friend and saying, hey, and I know it might be the toughest conversation of your life. No one wants to say that they may not be pointing north, so to speak. No one wants to have that conversation, but there literally are ears everywhere that want to hear that conversation. I'd much rather sit and talk to you into the wee hours of the morning. And this is going to sound cliche because a lot of guys post this and women post this, but I'd rather sit and listen to you, and I've done it hundreds of times, than to read your obituary tomorrow or watch the pain of another person have to share your story. So we constantly say, let's celebrate the lives that we have with us, because without those lives, we don't get to hear their story. And that's where we're at.
Well, and one last thing, I really believe that every veteran has a story. So if you don't do anything else, tell your story.
Let's get that story documented. That was one of the
absolutely. Awesome. I'm helping Marine Corps veteran's mom write a book about her son, who passed away, unfortunately, with his battle. And I don't care how long it takes. I'll focus on that, and we'll get it done. And it's important to me.
Well, and another one who didn't sign up for the mission has to pay for the aftermath of the loss of their loved ones. And so, again, thank you for all the steps that you're doing and taking. It is a mission that we see viable and a mission that we want to see and support in the future. How can we support you? Is there a way to get your book out there for the world?
Well, it's almost everywhere. It's on, it's even on Walmart.com. It's shop on Target.com, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and about 20 or 30 other book outlets. The biggest thing is knowing it's there. And I found out that the hardest part of being an author has nothing to do with writing the book. It's what happens after you've written the book. And the average book doesn't sell more than 250 or 300 copies. So word of mouth, my website, anything. I'm doing a fundraiser for Warrior Rising, where I'm donating $1 from every book I sell straight to Warrior Rising. And Amazon.com and Target.com both have the book on sale right now for about a 10% discount.
Tell us about Warrior Rising.
Oh, Warrior Rising is a great organization. It's run by some Special Forces veterans, and they help veterans realize their dream of owning or running a business. And they do fundraisers, they do everything, and then they issue grants and money to winners of certain categories, where they help fund their desire to have a business. And they also do franchises. So, I mean, they've helped so many what they call veteranpreneurs. So a veteran who wants to be an entrepreneur, if they get in touch with warriorrising.org, you can find out all the things you have to go through to do that. And I thought that was a great first organization to help. And every 6 months, I'll do another organization, because honestly, I'm not making money back off this book. I already said, yeah, what the heck. So I'm going to be doing fundraisers every 6 months for a new organization. And I'm not sure exactly what the next one will be, but I'll find one I think is a great cause.
Well, we got some ideas.
I've got some floating around up there, but I haven't made a decision yet, so I don't want to.
We appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you.
Yeah, same here. God bless you all.
Do we want to end on the song, or do you want to do a song now and come back for final thoughts? Boom, 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 boom. Jonathan's not there.
Jonathan's got the songs. Oh no!
Well, if he doesn't start playing something, I'm gonna hit it.
Do we know what we're doing yet?
I don't know. I don't know if anyone can hear me. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
I am.
Yeah.
We can. All right. I didn't want to just play the song, but Scotty Frazier is the author of our next song, and he's just one of them people, man. He's a fantastic person. He's always reaching out and checking on you to make sure you're good, and usually that's the role we feel, to reach out and talk to people and make sure everybody's good in their world. And it's just nice to have somebody reach out and check on you every now and again. And Scotty Frazier is just he's a friggin' stud, man. If you get a chance, if you're out in Texas area and you get a chance, if not, look him up on YouTube and Spotify and everywhere else. But Scotty Frazier, this is his new song called Red, White, Blue.
Seen her out in LA playing with the band. In Carolina, dancing on the sand. She's a star that's slipping through my hands, like the ones that fell on Alabama. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She'll get you high as the Colorado skies, and she shines like those New York City lights. As tough as Texas, and brother, she just might knock you to the ground if you start a fight. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She'll wait there in the harbor, holding up her light. She'll bring a fallen soldier home underneath her stripes. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She's red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue. She's my kind of girl, 'cause she's red, white, and blue. She's red, white, and blue.
That is Scotty Frazier, Red, White, and Blue. And real quick, David Willis Jr. came in here to say hi. He runs Sit Rep podcast, Homebound. Homebound, is that right? Yeah, Homefront Sit Rep podcast. So good to have brother come in, and we are slotted to be on his show in August, the WeP3 Team. Surprise! It's a Monday. So he runs his show on Sundays and Mondays 2 a week. And so great song, great message, great show. And we're at the point where we get to do our call to action and our final thoughts. And usually we let Jonathan start off with his great words of wisdom.
I give a huge shout out to Dylan Petrie. You know, I don't see him around here tonight. He usually is, but Dylan stepped up this weekend, and he's been nothing short of the picture of growth. And I don't know, it's been a privilege to be around and watch his progress in the past couple of years. But Dylan, thank you for being awesome and helping out this weekend. And I say helping out, but you pretty much did it all on your own. Thank you either way. Anyways, that's kind of what the message tonight is, you know, there's little opportunities that you get when you take on the role of being there for someone, that you get to see their personal growth as well. And it's rewarding, it's fulfilling, it's enough to cause you to want to be better. It's enough to, I mean, the opportunities are endless, and it's a growth wheel, if you will, because it always goes full circle. So just take the opportunity to help somebody and see where it goes.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for all you do, man. Miss Kimmer.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in tonight. It was great seeing and being with the team. And I'll finish up with a little poem that I wrote. It's called To Kim. It's the first day of the rest of my life. I know I need to keep going and for me to fight. You got it. I'm not quite ready to meet my afterlife. I still want to experience things with my wife. But in order to do that with myself, I had to have a serious chat. So I put on one of my favorite hats and I became my own diplomat. I told myself never again will I want to give up. I have to keep working and not let things blow up. That the first thing to do when I wake up is to be thankful that I did so. And if needed, to get my head checked up. I will take care of me by any means, even if I'm breaking apart at my seams. I want to be around to fulfill my dreams. I know what it takes. I have been behind the scenes. I must always give myself an honest chance, no matter what may be the circumstance. And for me, I must take a stance. I love to listen to music, but hell, I can't dance. I must remember to be involved, to take an active part, no matter how many times that I may have to restart. If my battery should run down, I'll find that jump start and to do the things that are good for my soul and my heart. So Kim, help keep me honest and to myself true. After all, happiness and peace are what you ensue. Often show yourself some major coup. I'm glad to be back on my healing avenue.
Thank you.
And there it is, the healing avenue. There's just one part. Check that out. Our newsletter just went out. Check it out. You've got the links. You've got the titles and how to order your own copies. Very good. Want me to keep going? You want me to keep going?
Yeah, you keep going.
Oh, we'll keep going. Well, I want to thank you, Frank, for coming on the show and sharing. We got a lot of good comments and some messages about the things you shared and them looking forward to more and, maybe movies one day coming hopefully soon. I didn't realize. Okay, anyway, I shopped on Amazon, so I will have my own copy soon. I was going to say I could have ran to Walmart, but you said Walmart online, because that's what we have here. Jonathan, thank you for bringing up Dylan. I know he, that anticipation, excitement, energy the morning of, and he was messaging because I mailed him a package of little, goods for the table, and they weren't there, and they weren't there, and then they were there. And so, whew, thank goodness. And I think he was excited to get out there, and he shared pictures. It's pretty awesome. Thank you, Dylan, for that. And Kimmer, again, thank you. Thank you. Check out more of her poems as well in our newsletters. And we'll just keep those rolling on well, shoot, email mostly, but I send a lot of them by social media as well. You can check them out online. And that will include poems with Derek Iozio, with Catch 22, and quite often Stephen Bates as well from Poem Speak. So anyone else with that talent, let us know. And we will share those. I will let you know next week our guest will be Jimmy Blackman. He's a leader, an author, a speaker, big guy out in that world, right? He's a big guy. He was running today. I think that was today, 96 degrees or something. And he just went for a run, just drenched. Good plan. Sweat it out, right? So we will look forward to meeting him, visiting with him, and Jonathan and Mark and Mr. Demith. Thank you very much, and happy Father's Day to all three of you.
Thank you.
We want you all to have kids just like you. And I'm not lying. Oh, I'm just kidding. I was kidding. Thanks,
Not
guys.
like
Yes, I said like.
Mr. Demith, any final thoughts, brother?
Now, the veterans are the best in the world. You might not be the best in certain things, but you can always be the best you. So just have faith, keep moving forward, and never forget we're all out here to love you and hold you with us. God bless you.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Demith. Remember,
Call me Frank, please.
all right, Frank, all right.
I'm looking for my dad.
Nothing but respect is what it is. Again, I am living on just the sheer excitement of being able to celebrate those that have served in the Vietnam era. It was an amazing day. Thank you to Raise Across America for the opportunity to be in that space. It's allowed us a lot of connections, a lot of new opportunities, and we're just excited to keep moving forward every single day. It is important to remember that one step, that next step. You don't need to know what it is. You just need to know you need to take it. We've asked people, and we're in the process of creating some cards that you can put up in your living space and in your vehicle that says, "What are you doing?" And it's not like a phrase to check on you. It's a phrase to motivate you. What are you doing? If you're not doing anything, you're part of the problem. That's my point that I want to make. And I am saying that for people who have enlisted, for people who have served as first responders, and for the everyday Joe that has the privilege of laying your big fat heads on the pillows of freedom. What are you doing? If you're not part of the solution, you legitimately are part of the problem. The other part that we always do in our call to action is everyone's got a device. And we ask you to take the time to type in the simple, "I was thinking about you," and cut and paste that into 6 separate messages to anyone on your contact list. Sorry, not sorry. If it spurs a conversation, great. But this is what I do know. Reaching out to the people that we care about will make a difference. If it is someone you talk to every single day, you know what? Go ahead and do that text, but I'm going to challenge you to create those texts to people that you haven't talked to for years. Maybe they did you wrong and you're going to take the high ground on it. I challenge you to do one hard conversation. There are many of men that have passed in my life that I wish I'd had one more conversation with. And that's on me because I didn't take it. At the end, no matter how mad you are at them or how mad they are at you, it falls on you. We appreciate all of you who have been here on tonight and have commented during the show. We appreciate you, Frank. I appreciate the WeP3 team and all that you have done. And we thank all the men out there who have been an effective role in your life as a father. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for being here tonight. Come check us out tomorrow at 4:30 for the WeP3 Weekly Debrief, where you will hear about all the things that we're working on, we'll work on, and we'll get to, and keeping this mission moving forward. And remember, everyone gets the chance to continue the mission. Patriot Pride.